welcome to Tarun IS. Today we will be discussing daily current affairs of 20th of October 2022. So let's start with the first news of the day. The first news is about the Global Multidimensional Poverty Index 2022, which has recently been released. This is released by the United Nations Development Programme, jointly released by United Nations Development Programme and the Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. It measures the acute multidimensional poverty across more than 100 developing countries. What is multidimensional poverty? That means, what is this multidimensional poverty? Poverty is what poverty? What is poverty? Basically, it is the lack of ability and opportunity. Remember, whenever we define a concept, we have to consider all the dimensions related with that topic. So poverty are of two types. We have got absolute poverty and we have got relative poverty. And poverty is the lack of ability and also opportunity to fulfill the basic requirements of human being. Basic requirement. And what are those basic requirement? Right, that's what the poverty is. And poverty cannot only be measured in the monetary terms, but poverty is also non-monetary, which we measure by deprivation, by counting deprivation. That, for example, if a household is deprived of education, quality education, access to quality education, that is one form of deprivation. If a household is deprived access to clean fuel and energy, another form of deprivation. So that is the reason why the United Nations Development Programme releases multi-dimensional poverty. The poverty is multi-dimensional, right? And that's where the concept of deprivation comes. All right, now let's move on. Now, this multidimensional poverty index, it complements the traditional monetary poverty measurement. Like I told you, that poverty is not only measured in monetary terms, but it is also measured in the non-monetary terms. All right, for example, deprivation in health, education, living standard. Now, what is living standard? What do we understand by good living standard? That means we have access to good education, we have access to clean fuel, we have access to clean and sanitation condition, we have access to clean drinking water, we have access to good nutritious food. That is quality living standard. We have access to clothing, we have access to energy, electricity, good standard of living. Global Multidimensional Poverty Index measures the deprivation in 10 indicators, and all indicators are equally weighted within each dimension. Global Multidimensional Poverty Index, it identifies people as multidimensionally poor if their deprivation score is 1/3 or higher, 1/3 or higher. It ranges from 0 to 1, and higher value implies the higher poverty. All right. Now let's talk about the 10 indicators. 3 indicators are there: health, education, and living standard. In health, health is measured in terms of the nutrition and child mortality. All right. Education is measured in terms of years of schooling and school attendance. Living standard is measured in terms of access to cooking fuel. For example, access to clean cooking fuel, LPG. So, Prime Minister Ujjwala Yojana. Right. Improved sanitation, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Safe drinking water, Jal Abhiyaran, Atal Bhujal Yojana, or Jal Shakti Abhiyan, etc. etc. Electricity, Saubhagya scheme, Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gram Jyoti Yojana, like that. Flooring, PM Awas Yojana, Gramin and Urban. Assets. means having vehicle. This is asset. These are the dimensions or indicator which National Multidimensional Poverty Index uses. The first in the this is for the global, and this is for the national. In national we have health, education and standard of living. However, one third points are given to health, in which we have nutrition, child and adolescent mortality, antenatal care. In education, we have the school years of schooling and school attendance, similar to the global MPI. In standard of living, we have these indicators: cooking fuel, sanitation, drinking water, electricity, housing, assets, and bank account. So, Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana. Let's look at the key findings. Out of the 610 crore people across 111 developing countries, 120 crore or 19% they live in multidimensional poverty. That means nearly half of them live in severe poverty. The incidence of poverty they have fell from 55.1% in 2005 to 16.4% in 2019-21 in the country. As many as 41.5 crore people existed poverty in India during 15-year period between 2005 to 2021. That means approximately 41 crore people, they have exited poverty. They are no more poor now. Out of which 2/3 exited in the first 10 years and 1/3 in the next 5 years. This is a 15-year period, right? Divided into 10 and 5, like this. The next news of the day is green crackers. Alright, considering the AQI of Delhi and also considering the festive season that is around the corner, Diwali, well known for bursting crackers, etc. So CSIR developed a more eco-friendly option, that is green crackers. So 3 green crackers are developed by CSIR, which is SWAS, Safal, and there is one more, and Star. Alright, so these 3 green cracker options are available now. What are green crackers? Basically, they are low-emission crackers. They are free from the harmful chemicals such as sulphur, nitrates, arsenic, magnesium, sodium, lead, and barium. They reduce emission up to 30%. They emit noise within the range of 100 and 130 decibels. They come with a green logo and QR code to differentiate from conventional firecrackers. Let's talk a little about these 3 green crackers. Developed by CSIR, they fall in 3 categories. SWAS, which is a water releaser. It suppresses the dust released by releasing water vapor in the air, and it does not comprise potassium nitrate, sulphur, and the particulate dust released will reduce approximately by 30%. Let's talk about Star now. It is a safe thermite cracker which does not comprise potassium nitrate and sulphur and emits reduced particulate matter disposal and reduced sound intensity. Sulphur is the safe minimal aluminium which has minimal usage of aluminium. It used magnesium instead, and it ensures reduction in sound in comparison to traditional crackers. Alright. Now what are the conventional crackers then? They are composed of the charcoal or thermite in combination with the oxidizing agent like nitrates, chlorates, sulfur agents, coloring agents, etc. They have salts of strontium, sodium, barium, calcium and copper, as well as white metals which produce more particulate matter. They emit sound between the range of 160 to 200 decibels, and the sound range of the green crackers are 100 to 130. Let's move on to the third news of the day. Center to promote destination in 15 states as part of Swadesh Darshan scheme. Now, what is this Swadesh Darshan? Swadesh means our country, our sovereign country, and Darshan means visiting, sighting, etc. So, sighting our own country. So, basically, under this scheme, tourism circuits were developed. Tourism circuits were developed under the Ministry of this tourism. It's a central sector scheme in which circuits will be developed, which will then be used for promoting tourism and also for promoting the rejuvenation of the site, right? So basically it aims to develop a sustainable, responsible destination with tourist and destination centric approach. All right. Ministry of Tourism, under its scheme of Swadesh Darshan and Prasad, provides financial assistance to the state and union territory administration and central agencies for development of the tourism infrastructure in the country. The project in this scheme, they are sanctioned subject to availability of the funds, and a detailed project reports are submitted, and adhering to the scheme guidelines, the utilization of the funds are released. It's a central sector scheme which was launched in the year 2014-15 for the integrated development of the theme-based tourist circuits. Theme-based tourist circuits like Buddhist circuits, Mahayana circuits, Jain circuits, etc. Natural circuits. The scheme is envisioned to synergize with other schemes like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Skill India and Make in India. Under the scheme, Ministry of Tourism, it provides central financial assistance to the state government and union territory administration for infrastructure development of the circuits. One of the objectives of the scheme is to develop theme-based tourism. Right. On the principle of high tourist value, competitiveness and sustainability in an integrated manner. There are 15 thematic circuits that have been identified: Buddhist, coastal, desert, eco, heritage, Himalayan, Krishna, Northeast, Ramayana, rural, spiritual, Sufi, Tirthankara circuit, tribal, wildlife circuit, etc. Now let's move on to the fourth news of the day. Rustom 2 male, which is medium altitude UAV to complete user trials. This is a medium altitude long enduring UAV to complete user trial by 2023. It has been jointly developed by the Aeronautics Development Establishment Bangalore and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited and Bharat Electronics Limited. What are UAV? These are unmanned aerial vehicle. Basically, they are, in simple language, they are drones. It is also known as Tapas BH, that means Tactical Airborne Platform for Aerial Surveillance Beyond Horizon. What are the features of Rustom 2? It is being developed and carried out for the surveillance and the reconnaissance purpose, for ISR purpose. It will be able to carry out different combination of advanced payload, and it will be capable of auto landing, among others. It is being designed to acquire real-time high-quality pictures and signal intelligence from the field concerned at the medium to long ranges. Technologically, it matches contemporary UAVs available and will also be cheaper than the imported ones. For example, India imported the predatory drones from USA. So it will be a cheaper option as compared to the imported drones. The significance is that UAVs, they have high endurance, and the priority requirement of the armed forces which are posted near China and Ladakh border. Alright. Armed forces, they rely heavily on the Israeli Searcher and Heron drones and they need more such UAVs. Therefore, Rustom 2 is going to be of much significance for the armed forces. Let's talk about the news 5 now. India fast emerging as Web3 ecosystem. Now, we will talk about what this Web3 ecosystem, but first let's see the report which was published by the Nasscom and what it has to say about India as a Web3 ecosystem. The Nasscom report says that India is rapidly growing as a Web3 ecosystem with more than 450 active startups cumulatively raised 1.3 billion fund till April 2022. Web3 basically is a new iteration of the World Wide Web which uses concepts of blockchain technology and metaverse. We will see the evolution of the World Wide Web also. In according to the report, in fiscal 2020 alone, India had registered growth of more than 170 new Web3 startups, which yielded 50% CAGR growth since 2015. In terms of the distribution, more than 80% of the Web3 startups were in Tier 1 cities. However, the Tier 2 and Tier 3 ecosystem was also growing rapidly, with locations such as Jaipur and Vadodara evolving as emerging hub for Web3 startups. Now, what is this Web3? Basically, it is the next generation of the internet, which uses apps and websites that will be able to handle the data similar to the human intelligence, using technologies like machine learning, big data, decentralized ledger technology, among others. Alright. Now let's look at the evolution of the web technology. The Web 1.0, basically it provided you the access to limited content and there was no user involvement. It was only one-way traffic. In Web 2.0, what happened? The web, it became more attractive. With the development of the JavaScript, HTML, CSS3, data could be shared across the platforms. And now we have the Web 3.0, which is the proposed World Wide Web that will be using technologies such as blockchain, metaverse, AI, in a manner similar to the human intelligence. So that's it for today. Have a nice day. Thank you so much for watching Taruna IAS.